Today is the 21st of March 2024, and this will be our 11th video on trigonometry. Okay, before I begin, what I have to share with you today, thank you everyone who have subscribed to our page. Okay, and please, if you haven't considered it already, I will appreciate it if you subscribe, and then when we upload, you get your notification. Please share, like, and follow us. Okay, thank you very much. And please ask permission from the account holder. If the account is not yours, don't just use somebody else's account anyhow. Ask permission from the account holder, okay? Or just take your phone to wherever you are watching from and ask them to help you open your own account. It's very easy to do. Okay, in the comment section you normally see, please follow my notes/scripts. Okay, these are my notes, and maths is full of numbers. So this is 9.5, 11.2. okay, so if the pen is here, okay, then I'm explaining something along these lines. Okay, so if you hear anything, like if you hear 9.5, just follow the notes, it will be 9.5. okay, if you hear 1.2, okay, these things are few, but I just want to point it out. It's 11.2. okay, that is why at times you need to follow my notes/scripts. okay, please beware of scammers. Okay, please, they are really on the loose. Okay, please beware of them. Recap, watch last video for recap, because the trigonometry videos are linked. So if I always want to repeat what we learned last week, we might not go anywhere. Meanwhile, it's a big topic. Okay, watch last video for recap. Last week I did last video I discussed how to find the area of a triangle. Here maybe they are not right angles, using AB sin C. The area is AB sin C to solve, and I showed you how to apply it. So basically, if you have an angle and you've been given the two sides between the angle, this might be the formula you might use. Okay, so I said this normally, you use this normally when you
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
You use this normally when you are using non-right angle triangles. Okay, but I also said to you that assuming the 90 degrees is one angle is 90 degrees, then what it means is the whole of sin C becomes 1, because sin 90 is 1. So if you multiply that with the formula, then you come back to the normal formula, have base times height for the area. Okay, so immediately in trig, you have an angle and they ask you to find the area. You should be thinking about this formula. Okay, now the only difference is you have half base, then the sine of the angle you've been given. Okay, so here again, using the right one, because if you use cos of that angle, you won't get the answer right. So you need to find a way of learning this formula. All you need to add is sine of the angle. Okay, not tan, not cos, the sine. Okay, today's starter, we want to apply the function SOHCAHTOA, and we've said several times, immediately you use the wrong function. If you are supposed to use tan and you go and use cosine, your answer will be wrong, even though you use the calculator right. Okay, so you have to be vigilant here. You look at the triangle, you see what you have available, and then you make a judgment and choose one of these functions. Okay, so let's look at the example again. Okay, you have this angle here which you are supposed to find theta. You know the opposite to the angle, the opposite length, and you know the hypotenuse. Okay, so here you use so, because sine of the angle is the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. Okay, if you are still struggling with what function to use, okay, then I think you might have to watch this video like 2 or 3 or 4 times. Okay, and then maybe it might dawn on you that I get it now. So sine of theta is 9.5 divided by 11.2, and that is why you can't get calm and sit and watch 10 videos. You might not get anything out of that. Okay, at this point, look for quality, not quantity. Whatever you learn, make sure that you understand it very well. Okay, you don't have to get 100% before you get C. But if whatever you learned, you understand it, then most of them will come into the exam, and then you'll be able to solve the answer the question and get your marks. So sine of theta is 9.5 divided by 11.2. If you do it correctly on the calculator, it's 0.8482. Theta will be sine inverse of 0.8482. So theta now, so you press 8.8482, you press the shift button, and then you press the sign, and then it will give you 58 degrees, okay, to the nearest whole number. So this angle here is 53 degrees. Now, our second starter for today, also applying the right function. Here again, we are going to use so, because we have the opposite to the angle and we have the hypotenuse. So sine of P will be equal to 12.1, which is the opposite, divided by the hypotenuse here. The right angle triangle is here. The 90 degrees is here, even though I've not labeled it. All these diagrams I've been using is not to scale. Okay. So now 12.1 divided by 25.6 will be equal to 0.4727. Okay, so P, your angle P, will be sine inverse of 0.4727. So P equals 28.21, which is 28.2 degrees. Okay, remember to put your degrees here. Okay, that will be your answer. Now today we've looked at all the formulas. We've looked at Pythagoras. We've looked at how to apply the cosine rule. Okay, how to apply the sine rule. We've looked at how to find the area when it's on the right angle triangle. Yeah, we've done a lot, okay, for this level of learning. So today we want to look at some possible questions. Okay, so we are going to use a couple of videos to look at some possible questions, and then under trig as our example, just to help us understand this topic, and then we'll move on to another topic. Okay, so here some trigonometry questions. Okay, as I've just said. Okay, so now the first question is similar to what we just did. Okay, so here again, that is a right angle triangle. We have an angle, we know the opposite, we are supposed to find the hypotenuse. Okay, so sine of 33 will be equal to opposite to 125. Okay, and then divided by the hypotenuse x. Okay, so here after setting this one up, it's just making s the subject. So 125 will move x to the left hand side and bring sine 33 to divide 125. So 125 divided by 33. Okay, that's here. Okay, will be sine 33 will be 0.5446. Okay, now if you do this correctly on the calculator, you are going to get x equals 229.5 meters, because the length is in meters. So 229.5 meters. That is to one decimal place. To the nearest whole number will be 230 meters. Remember your units if you've not been given in the exam. Now the third example. Okay, now you have this diagram here, two right angle triangles put together. You need to look at the question carefully. Okay, because if it's an exam, you want to pass it, and if you haven't seen this type of question before, yes, but you know everything to answer this question. Okay, so look at it. Okay, AB here, you've not been given. You've been given AD, which is 15 centimeters. And then you've been given CD, which is 6 centimeters. Okay. Now you've been given cos X, which is 2/3. Instead of giving you the angle, they've given it to you as fraction. Okay. They've given you cos of X, not the angle. So cos of the angle is 2/3. Okay. So this type of question will come in a non-calculator paper, because with the figures they've given you and giving you this, you do not need a calculator here. Okay, so they said find BD. This is B and D. Okay, so you know cos of X, you know AD. So to find BD, straightforward, you are finding the adjacent, you know the hypotenuse, you know the angle. So you are going to use chi here. So adjacent, which is the what you are finding in the first part of the question, divided by your hypotenuse, which is 15, equals cos of the angle X. Okay, now they've told you that cos X degrees is 2/3. So you can substitute 2/3 straight away. Okay, so 2/3 equals BD divided by 15. Okay, so now BD, 15 will go and multiply here. So 3 into BD, 3 into 15 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. I'll stop here a little bit for you to have a look closely. Okay, so this length here, BD, is 10. So I wrote it down. Now, I have said triangle A and triangle B to help me solve. So for the first part, my triangle A, I found BD. So now that I've found BD, okay, I know this side is 6 centimeters. But let's look at what the second said. Find sine y degrees. Okay, so since they gave me cos X as 2/3, it might be a non-calculator paper. So I need to find sine y degrees, which might end up in a not y degrees, but the sine of the angle. Okay, so now let's look at some of the possible things you might think of. If you do cos of X, so if this be X, Y, and I label this Z, if I do cos of Z, okay, that is my hypotenuse, and that is my adjacent, but it doesn't give me this angle. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I brought that up for our learning. Now if I do sine of Y, the sine of this angle here, okay, that will be the opposite, okay, which is 8, and the hypotenuse. Okay, now this 8 I don't know yet. Okay, I don't know this 8 yet, so I have to find a way of finding it. But at the end of the day, because I don't know that this is already 8, I have to find a way of finding it. Okay, so if I do sine of Y, I'm still deficient, because I don't know BC now as 8 centimeters. I had to find it. So to find BC, I've already done the first part of the question, BD, and I know CD. So to find BC, okay, I'll use Pythagoras first. Okay, Pythagoras in maths is a very, very important theorem. Okay, so using Pythagoras, 6 centimeters all squared plus BC all squared will be equal to 10 centimeters all squared. Okay, because this is the right angle and that's the long part. So this length, CD, which is 6, we've been given that. BC, we don't know yet. Okay, if you use Pythagoras, then it gives you 8, and then BD, which we just found. So we need to use a Pythagoras now. So I've just talked you through. So BC all squared plus 6 all squared will be equal to the hypotenuse all squared. So BC will be 10 squared minus 6 squared. So now BC squared will be equal to 100, because 10 squared is 100, minus 6 squared is 36. 100 minus 36, I did a starter with you to show you how to quickly take this, do this kind of things using mental mathematics, quick thinking. Okay, so like this, that is 36. So if it's 40, then it will be 60. Okay, now you added 4. So if you subtract, then you are going to get 4. And 64 add 36 will give you 10. So BC now will be equal to 64. The square root of 64 will be plus or minus 8. We choose the positive equals its length. So now we found this BC here, and we know CD, and we know that, so we can find sine y, because the question says we should find sine y. Okay, so sine y degrees, these degrees, will be the opposite, which we just found, 8 divided by 10. So here it is. So now applying the right function is important. So we use Pythagoras to find BC, okay, which is 8 over 10. You can leave your answer as sine y equals 8 over 10 or 4 over 5. Okay. They asked you to find sine y, not y degrees, not the angle. Okay. So now sine y is 4 over 5. Questions like this will come in the non-calculator paper. Okay, so it's not always they will give you angles and stuff. Okay, they can give it to you in fraction form. Okay, that's why learning your fractions and decimals and percentages is very important. Earlier on in the video, I help you to use flashcard so that some of these fractions you can easily convert between them, because in the exam, if you don't have your calculator, you can easily do this on top of your head. Okay, so if I wanted to do another topic, we will go for another 10 12 15 minutes. Another question. Okay, so I think I'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for watching today's video with me. Okay, please subscribe, share, like, and follow. Beware of scammers. Okay, and please follow my notes/script. Very, very important. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.